It's the grandson of right thought. So this morning, Brother KP over at Kingdom Living YouTube channel, he took the body on a flight this morning. On Kingdom Living Airlines. Brother KP took us on a flight this morning. And he said something. And I'm going to share it with y'all. Because it's worth sharing. The brother said, what something says is physical. But what something means is spiritual. I want y'all to etch those words onto your heart. And keep them in your pocket as a precious jewel. Because that statement by that brother is a truth. It is a proverb. You should keep it as a proverb. Because it indeed is. If you keep that in your mind at all times, then it's something that will always benefit you in every circumstance. The brother said, what something says is physical. What something means is spiritual. Now, Brother KP, if you don't mind, I'm going to piggyback off this message. If you don't mind. We're going to share it. Most High gave you some bread. He gave you a word. I want to share some of that word too with you, if you don't mind. But I got a question for y'all. Are we in physical warfare or are we in spiritual warfare? Okay. Now, I'm going to say what the brother said again. He said, what something says is physical. What something means is spiritual. Now, what kind of warfare are you in? Again. All right, then. So, what do you think matters more to you? What something says or what something means? So then, when you're in a worldly flipped upside down state of being, you respond to what someone says to you. You react to it, in other words, not respond. You react emotionally. See, in the enemy, they use that against you. They use your ignorance, your lack of knowing what's going on against you. So they can say trigger words. Remember I told you guys about the dog that only responds to trigger words? He can't hear the whole matter, you see? He responds to trigger words. You could say a million names, but as soon as you say your little doggy's name, his tail gets to wagging, his ears go back, he starts looking at you and shit like, what you want? What you want me to do? Right? Well, it's the same. See, you respond to trigger words when you're not able to have knowledge and hear the whole matter. See? In other words, know what things mean. You see? If you don't know what someone means when they talk to you, then you can get deceived, can't you? You see? You can get deceived. And he also said in his message, Brother KP, while we was flying on this flight, you know, he a pilot, right? So he took us on a flight. We was high this morning. And he said, demons are spiritual, see, aren't they? Yes. And so, are you fighting demons or are you fighting people? Well, you're fighting demons. See, demons are spiritual. He says they come from the spiritual ghetto. They come from the spiritual hood. And it's just true. Because when you understand what the brother means by saying that, see, so what does Brother KP mean by saying the demons, they come from the spiritual hood? The way they deal is different when they communicate with you. Just like when you're in the suburbs and you're walking around and you communicate one type of way, but when you're in the hood, you communicate differently because people mean different things by what they say, don't they? See? See, when you're in the suburbs, you may hear things like, hey, this is my pal, Johnny. This is my pal, Johnny. This is my bud. You see, you may hear words like that. This is my buddy. This is my bud. Okay? When you're in the hood, you'll hear shit like, it's my nigga. You see? This my homeboy. You see? This my piece. You see? You're going to hear different stuff, but it mean the same shit. You see? So, watch this. Let's just use the same example. If you from the suburbs and you're hearing someone that's speaking the word of God that's from the hood, then you may hear them say words like, me and my niggas was chilling down at the store. You see? And we heard a fight break out, and so we went down there to break it up, and this was going on, blah, 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 blah. But the way the story starts is, me and my niggas was hanging out down at the store. And that may offend you to hear that. Or he may say, man, I saw a fine ass bitch yesterday. That may offend you because you don't understand what he mean. You just heard what he said. So are you physical or are you spiritual? See? You see what I mean about what the brother said while we were so high this morning in that plane? Kingdom Living Airlines. You see? Brother KP was like, strap your seatbelts on, everybody. Because we're going way high this morning. Oh, man. Enjoy your flight, everyone. You know how the little voice come on over the intercom? That's Brother KP. That's what he told us this morning. He was like, because we're going way high. Because the statement he made is so profound and it carries so deeply through the thread. It's like a little thread. I told you that when you grab onto it, it opens to a big tapestry. That's what the word of God do. What did Yahushua say? Faith is like the grain of a mustard seed. That when you plant that little tiny seed, it grows into a big ass plant that birds can come and even make their nest in it. So if you just heard his words, then you would say, then you're saying, Yahushua, that a seed is a mustard seed grows into a plant. Okay, cool. Oh my goodness. What he's saying is faith, which is the substance of the thing hoped for. So the substance means the stuff. See, substance, the stuff that makes up the feelings of the thing that you're hoping for. See, if you hope for something, you're going to feel feelings. Those feelings are the substance. So what Yahushua is saying is it doesn't take much of that substance to create a bigger manifestation. It takes a little bit of that feeling. Because if you feel the feeling, Abba knows you believe it. So it don't take much. He loves you. So he's only looking for you to believe a little bit. At all is what it is. He wants you to believe at all. And once you do believe, he'll respond in kind so that your faith can increase. See? That's what Yahusha meant. But if you're just listening to the words, then you won't hear that shit. And so that's why Abba got us all speaking all kinds of different ways. Because it's a matter of the heart is what he's looking at. I told y'all I was aware that I spoke like a cheese grater sometime. When I'm speaking, it's scraping you. And sometimes it may hurt. And sometimes it may make you feel uncomfortable. And sometimes it may make you get indignant. And sometimes the words I'm saying may make you feel like I'm wicked. I'm totally aware of all that, though, when I'm speaking. I'm aware. Because it takes few shall find it. See? So when people listen to me, there's only a few that are listening with their true heart, their true ear. the spirit, the meaning of what the brother's saying. They know that what Brother KP is telling you. That's why I said we high. The ones that are on the ground, they don't know what we're talking about today. They think that's foolery what we're saying. But the Most High searches the intents of the heart. Is it not written? Which means the meaning of why you did what you did. That's what Abba's looking at. He's not looking at what you did. He's looking at why you did what you did. You see? Why you did it. Look at Eve. She ate the fruit. Abba didn't say, well, you ate the fruit, that's the end of it. It also is written in there, she's just looked and saw that it would make one wise. So a piece of fruit gonna make you wise, not Abba, in other words. See? That was the error. That's what it is. You think something is good other than what Abba told you is good. That's that simple. And that's what the Israelites were doing wrong. Listen carefully to this. This is what the Israelites were doing wrong when they were keeping Torah. They thought they were keeping it, but they were keeping it to the letter of the law. Or as KP said, they were keeping what the words, what they heard, with the words, not what the words meant. See? So Yahusha came, the spiritual man. Look how it's all connected. A quickening spirit. Yahusha, he came and brought us the meaning. I told you not to commit adultery because that's not loving your brother. That's why. Is it love? Well, no, it's not loving if I do that. That's why I told you not to do it. So if you focus on the words, don't commit adultery, then you'll miss all that heavenly glory. Or as Bruce Lee said, if it's like a finger pointing at the moon. Somebody says, hey, look at the moon, and they're pointing their finger at the moon. But instead of looking at the moon, you're looking at their finger pointing at the moon. He says, don't concentrate on the finger or you'll miss all that heavenly glory, man. So if you listen to the words and don't listen to what the words mean, then you have missed all the heavenly glory of the words. Because you're in ignorance. You don't know what evil is and you don't know what good is. So you can't seek after the good. That's simple. You can't receive the good if you don't know what good is. You'll be receiving a lot of evil thinking it's good. And for instance, you will be talking to a person. Let's use this demon in the ghetto analogy. When you're talking to someone in the hood, you can't focus on what they're saying because they're talking fast and they're talking a lot. You have to focus on what they mean. Or you will get got, as we say in the hood. You will get conned, swindled, scammed. You see? That's what'll happen. So you have to learn how to move accordingly. Like in the city I'm in, Detroit. You can't be in Detroit being a goody two-shoes, happy-go-lucky, giving everybody the benefit of the doubt ass nigga. That ain't going to work here. Okay? You have to have some thick-ass skin to dwell here. I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay? You do. So therefore, if somebody out of Detroit, spring out of Detroit speaking the truth, they gonna speak it like a Detroit nigga speak. It's just the way it is. So if you're from, let's say, Juneau, Alaska, or London, England, or Tokyo, Japan, or Seoul, Korea, or Jamaica, then you may not understand all of the words. But do you understand the meaning? Because that's what is profitable. Like I told y'all on my video, do y'all just hear the words or do y'all pay attention to the meaning? When y'all speak, do you just use words or do you use words based on the meaning, y'all? Y'all don't just talk. Donut, cat, house, car. That's what the one man said to the other man. And then the other man responded back, well, bus, bird, street light, neon green shirt, do-rag. And then the other guy goes, tires, hubcap, green emissions, old dirty bastard, Wu-Tang Clan. And then the other guy goes, Montel Jordan, this is how we do it. Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, green leaf on a tree blowing in the breeze. So are they using words when they're talking to each other? Yes. Do it mean anything? Nope, the fuck it don't. Oh, man. Oh. See, I know some people will say, hey, man, why you just don't say no, it don't? Okay. Why don't you just say that instead? Well, then you say it instead. That's the way I talk. And if Abba didn't want me to give the word, then he wouldn't have given it to me to give, guys. Do y'all remember Moses? When God chose Moses and made Moses ahead of everybody on the earth, he made him basically king of the earth. He made him a god, it says, as God. And Moses said, I don't speak right. I got filthy lips, man. See? Like how I would have been saying. And I did. I told y'all that. I used to be struggling like a mug. Like, when I'm giving the word, I'm struggling because I have all these feelings welling up on me that I need to express. And my way to express it is like this. But I'm trying to tailor it down for people that don't offend people's emotions and make them feel uncomfortable and make them get confused and all this. Abba said, look, if they got a right heart, they'll hear you. I said, really? The chain fell right off of me. Clink. And I started to express truth without any hindrance. I don't hinder the spirit. See? We're not talking flesh. Remember what KP said? You remember what he said? He said, spiritual is meaning. So, do you know what I mean when I speak?